Youth sports play an important role in developing work ethic and character to prepare students for future success in life, which is why your West Virginia Toyota dealers are proud to be the official partner of the West Virginia SSAC, supporting high school sports all across West Virginia. Toyota is also the only auto manufacturer in West Virginia, investing heavily in the local economy. So when you're ready for a new ride, shop us on buyatoyota.com or see your local dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
And welcome everybody back home in the Northern Panhandle. I'm Sean Blumetti with Tony Lelly here, coming to you from Roy Michael Field at Woodcutter Stadium in the campus of North Marion High School for tonight's Wvssac Class AA playoff semifinal presented by Toyota between the number 5 Red Riders of Weir High and the number 1 North Marion Huskies. Both teams coming in at 11-1. How they got here? We're 2 close games, Tony. Homestanding against Frankfort, 23-21. And then last week, a game we'll get into in just a little bit, 35-33 over the Scott Skyhawks. North Marion, as the number 1 seed, has hosted both of their games, beating Lincoln 35-14, and last week beating Herbert Hoover for the second time this season, 35-17. Any insight into what we might see tonight?
Well, all right. Last week's matchup with Herbert Hoover and North Marion, they had 2 teams that were very similar in offensive and defensive styles. They were both very good teams. The games were North Marion score-wise wasn't really that close, but the teams were the games were very well played. The North Marion, they are led by their Kennedy Award nominee, Casey Minor, quarterback. The guy's like a tailback in the backfield, but he can sure sling it, Sean.
He definitely can.
And their number 1 receiver, Brock Martin, number 2. He can fly, and he's really good in man coverage. I think they're going to see a little bit of that today. But they have a tendency to get you, want to get you in space and try to get Martin open. The one thing that's a really strong part of North Marion's game is their defensive line, and they want to get you in a passing situation, and they're really going to tee off on you and put a lot of pressure on your quarterback. Led by defensive ends Jeffrey Cowger, 6'3", 175, and Brandon Matheny, 5'10". He's a big one, 234 as defensive end.
And that is some nice size on the defense there for the Huskies. You mentioned last week both teams, Herbert Hoover and North Marion, coming in very balanced, and the game started out a little one-sided. North Marion jumped up 12-0. And showed that versatility, a 27-yard TD pass and a 15-yard TD run by Huffman there. Hoover came right back, kicked the field goal, got a rushing TD with 9:06 to go in the first half. North Marion responded, made it 19-10, and then 26-10 on a Minor to Fry 31-yard TD pass. With 9:42 to go in the third quarter, Herbert Hoover comes back with a 53-yard touchdown pass, making it 26-17. Getting back, like you said, both teams back and forth, trading blows a little bit. Herbert Hoover with that trip coming up in from Charleston, really struggled, seemed to get started. What North Marion did on defense, though, from that 9:42 mark, completely shut down Herbert Hoover. And it really started with a couple sacks and then a bad snap by Herbert Hoover resulted in a safety, made it 28-17. The last drive of the game for Herbert Hoover ended with an interception. Cowger with an 11-yard TD pass made it 35-17 for your final. You mentioned Huffman, tough kid, tough running back. Had 8 carries for 87 yards before he left the game last week. It'd be interesting to see what he's able to bring tonight, knowing that he's coming in a little banged up.
It's going. I'm really looking for a good game. They are very. Weir High is going to face a team that was very similar to what they faced last week. They both have Kennedy nominees, and this guy's a little bit better on the ground. They're going to definitely make them defend space out there. They're going to spread them out, and then they're going to try to get them in, try to get their gameplay or their playmakers in space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for North Marion, I mean, Aaron Huffman carrying the load, 139 carries this year, almost 1,500 yards, 13 TDs. Their quarterback, Casey Minor, even though he missed a game earlier, was limited in 2, 700 yards rushing with 14 TDs. Speaking with Coach Darren Hayes earlier this week, he really felt Minor had a chance to be a 1,000-yard rusher if he wouldn't have missed those couple games.
You know, both of those guys will run you over. They got no problem with sticking their foot in the ground, putting their head down and getting the tough yards, as well as speed. And if they get ahead, you know, they're going to try to ground them out with those two guys.
And, you know, talking about Minor and his rushing ability, even though he was limited in a couple games and missed that one, still threw for over 2,000 yards this year, 24 touchdowns, 117 for 181, really good completion percentage, but he can stretch the field on you. He has the arm to stretch the field.
The offense begins and ends with him. You know, they'll probably similar game plan. They're going to try to stretch you right, stretch you left, throw it deep. They have a really good. They throw to the hook curl area, and when they get you in space, then they're going to then watch for Minor to take the ball right at you.
Oh, no doubt. And you talk about stretching them out, getting their athletes in space. 3 leading receivers for the Huskies this year. Brock Martin, you mentioned him earlier in the broadcast here, almost 1,000 yards receiving, 11 TDs. Landon Fry and Landon Cowger, one with 700 yards, one with 300 yards, but 8 touchdowns and 7 touchdowns respectively. So they have multiple weapons on offense. How do you see Weir defending them?
Just a side note, this Jeffrey Cowger, he's 6'3", 175. He's also defensive end. So I'll tell you, they're going to have to play personnel with these guys to get him in space. Now, don't get me wrong, Weir High has got the speed. They have the athletes to keep up with them. What they have to be able to do is they got to figure out when they got to get a really good hand on Huskies' game plan and how the first quarter will be very interesting on how, they'll play the coaching cat and mouse game. They'll send guys in motion and see how the adjustments are going to happen. And I'm really excited. You got a couple of really good coaches, and they got good teams, so they're going to have to kind of figure out each other's game plan. And I'm sure, just like last 2 weeks, it's going to be a matter of who gets the big plays, Coach.
And you're very correct there, Tony. Before we get into the Weir recap from last week, we'd like to thank our sponsors for this week's broadcast. Commissioner Eric Timmons, State Farm Agent Cassie Johnson, the First Westminster Presbyterian Church, M&M Hardware, Water Transport, Lancia Villa Royale, Friendly Tavern, the Viking Social Poker Club, Rawson's Mulch and More, Tudor's Biscuit World, Economy Lawn Care, Stickles Law Offices, Total Sports Connection, Franciscan University of Steubenville, Hood's Pharmacy, the Wintersville Trophy Shop, Anthony Mining Company, Mario's Italian Restaurant, Ohio Motor Group, Main Street Bank, Capital Recovery Systems, the Steubenville Country Club, Apollo Restoration, Attorney Adam Martello, and Dr. John Feigl.
Valley Converting, Fort Steuben Maintenance, Naples Spaghetti House, Route 22 Sports Bar, Crazy Mexican Restaurant, Richard Poe Financial Services, National Colloid Company, TS Electric, Yetz Family Foundation, Josephine's Carryout, Hauser's Furniture, Trinity Health Systems, Steve's Fish and Chips, Marcino's Enterprises, IBEW Local 246, Best Western at the Franciscan Square, Cedar One Realty, Edge Sports, Electric O, it's electric, Uncle Johnny's Delivers, Barium Chemicals, Corey Widget, Baird Wealth Management, Signs LTD, Barrel Ford and Toyota, The Rink at St. Franciscan Square.
All right, and this pregame show continues here, the Corey Widget Baird Wealth Management pregame. We just talked about North Marion. We had the pleasure of calling one of the best games I've seen in a long time last week down in Madison.
Wow.
We went down to Scott in a quarterfinal matchup, pulled out a 35-33 victory.
Did I say wow?
Wow, a couple times. We stayed wow a couple times last week.
What a game. What a game.
Just like the North Marion Herbert Hoover game. Weir went down early, 14-0. 14-0. And after a turnover on downs, they hit a big play. Malachi Strohmeyer to hit Devin Monder down the sideline for a 74-yard touchdown pass to really spark Weir in the first half. And that's how we went into halftime.
Yeah, Coach Ciccini, he said that was really important for them because that kind of put them right where they needed to be. They were able to build off of that play when they're going into halftime when he talked to the kids.
And we talked during the halftime show last week, having that momentum going in from halftime, and then Weir got the second half kickoff, put a drive together.
Right down the field.
And Malachi Strohmeyer, 6-yard touchdown run, made it 14-14. But Scott battled right back, went up 20-14, missed the extra point, which came in to play later on, and I hope you brought your card with you this week.
I got it.
Okay, so just in no two-point conversions. It was 26-21. But Weir immediately, Strohmeyer hits Colson on an 85-yard touchdown pass to make it 27-26. Scott, not to be outdone with their Kennedy Award nominee, hits a 5-yard rush to make it 33-28. Weir took over with about 3 minutes to go, put a drive together, kept alive by a scramble by Malachi Strohmeyer, and hit Corey Lyons with a game-winning touchdown pass.
Wow.
With just under a minute to go.
It was so exciting. I wish y'all could have been there, and I hope we did it justice because it was a phenomenal game. With the Weir High Red Riders showed a lot of mental toughness. Coach Ciccini, going in that fourth drive, Malachi Strohmeyer and Corey Lyons, he was talking about some adjustments. They looked at him and he said, right before that last touchdown, they looked at him and said, Coach, we got you, Coach.
Right.
And, that's a lot of, it makes you feel good as a coach to know your kids in that kind of situation are keeping a cool head.
And we talk about Strohmeyer, we talk about, Lyons, and we talk about, some of the other guys. One guy that really stood out to me last week, Demir Mauder, our player of the game, doing it on offense and defense, a really unsung hero of that game.
He sure was. We'll get to that there in a second. The captains are coming out to the middle of the field right now. The captains for North Marion are K.C. Minor, of course. Number 53, Brandon Matheny. Who's the other? Number 78, Nathan Miller. And number 13, Landon Fry for the Red Riders. We've got Dylan Higgins. We've got, we got Malachi Strohmeyer, Charles Prentice, and Corey Lyons.
All right, and the referee is addressing both teams here as we come out for the opening coin toss. Weir is the visiting team with their red helmets, all white uniforms. North Marion Huskies, the home blacks with the silver helmets, sort of the Oakland Raiders look.
Is that black or dark blue?
That's a very, very nice shade of black. Black and silver for the Huskies.
Gotcha.
The coin is in the air.
We've got a decent crowd here for.
Oh, Weir has traveled well. Yes, Weir has traveled very well.
They look like about the same as their home, maybe a little less.
Weir has won and has deferred. And we'll see what direction they're going to kick here.
Okay.
All right, Weir has won the toss and deferred. Weir will kick off from right to left. And we will be back after this quick commercial break.
What did you ask me before I...
There's nothing like the sound of a ball solidly hit off a wooden bat. At the Swearingen Bat Company, all bats are handcrafted for you. Their focus is on a player's specific needs. The perfect balance with a perfect handle should be a smooth extension to the batter. Visit the Swearingen Bat Company online at swearingenbaseball.com or look them up on Facebook. Get that perfect quality wooden bat handcrafted locally just for you. There are plenty of models for all levels of play, and they also make great gifts for your special player. You can even choose your own design right down to the specific color. Make sure you visit the Swearingen Bat Company today. Premium quality custom wooden bats, locally made. The Swearingen Bat Company is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
And we're back here at North Marion High School. Little pregame tension.
That was very antagonizing entrance. Both teams entered from underneath their bleachers. They broke the paper, running right toward the opposing team's sideline.
And it didn't look like either one was going to stop for a minute
And
there.
they broke down right in midfield and just glared at each other and, got all hyped up. I've never seen anything like that. They don't come in from the end zones.
Not anymore.
That was exciting.
All right, before we get started here, the West Virginia Secondary Schools Activities Commission serves its 286 member schools and their students by providing leadership and support for the conduct of education-based athletics, which enrich the educational experience of all participants. Play, perform, compete together. Howard for Weir has the ball teed up. North Marion back to receive. I believe that's number 5. And hard to see from our vantage point here in the box.
Elijah Armour, number 5, and number 4, Trevor Mullet. And there's the kick.
And a high kick down to the North Marion 20-yard line. Bounces to the 15. Picked up. North Marion breaks out over the 25 down at about the 28-yard line. Be first and 10 Huskies.
Can't believe he let that ball bounce.
No, that's a dangerous place to let that ball bounce. It hit about the 20 and rolled about the 15. He was finally able to corral it and pulled it up, pulled it in and got a good gain there.
Like I said before, it's always a win if you can keep the return team underneath the 30-yard line.
All right, North Marion comes out, empty backfield, first play. Casey Miner looks at the defense from their left hash, moving left to right for you today. Motion coming at, a little jet sweep, handoff. Miner on the carry. Up over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Nice gain on first down there.
So you see what happens. Initially they sent one guy in motion from left to right, and they faked the stretch zone play to the right, and quarterback kept it. They're looking at the adjustments of Weir High. Weir High right now playing man coverage.
North Marion coming out empty again. Oh, no, excuse me, sidecar. 2-by-2 set. Handoff to Huffman.
Wow.
Stuffed at the line. Actually, probably a lot. They're going to give him a half a yard, if that.
Okay, this time there was a zone read. Quarterback Miner, I think he's looking to pull that out, but he handed it off, and there was nowhere to go.
And I think they're going to give him a -1 on that one.
Riders again in man coverage.
Yeah, and the Huskies staying no auto here. 2-by-2 set from their left hash. Sidecar to the right. Miner looking at the defense, getting the signal from the sideline. Takes the snap.
There you go.
Fake to his left. Quarterback counter coming back to the right to the middle of the field. Miner with a nice carry up to the 45 or so. Good for a first down. So that was a gain, about 8 yards there.
Casey Miner just dragging people. They're getting him by the waist, and he's fighting. He's fighting hard, but they're making contact in the backfield. So that's a good thing.
And he is definitely not built like your typical quarterback. He is short and stocky and thick, and he runs powerfully. Empty set again for the Huskies. They come to the line quickly. Ball to the middle of the field on their 45. Miner claps, takes a snap, drop back. Looking down the field, man on the scene.
He got him.
He got a catch. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Huskies.
That was number 2.
Brock Martin, their big play threat. Casey Miner.
He was covered, but
55-yard touchdown pass.
He got right behind the defender. Defender tried to make a play for the ball, They get an empty set, and then they want to get Brock Martin down the middle of the field. He ran a post pattern to the right. He was covered by Devin Colson, but he got behind Colson. Colson made a play on the ball, and the ball was just over Colson's tips.
And North Marion comes on to check the extra point here. And the kick is up, and he missed it. That looked good to me. They're saying wide to the right. So Brady Anderson with the missed extra point. The Huskies go up 6-0 with 10:05 to go in the first quarter, and we will be back after this message.
Springtime means cleanup time. So if you're planning a renovation on your house or need to get rid of some debris, call for a driveway-safe dumpster from Chappie's. Yep, Chappie's has 10 and 15-yard dumpsters available for same-day delivery. And Chappie's rates are all-inclusive. There's never any hidden fees. You can do a 7-day rental or, even better yet, a discounted 3-day rental. Clean up your shed, garage, basement, and get a dumpster from Chappie's today. Online, it's chappiesdumpsters.com or call 740-359-DUMP. That's 740-359-3867. Be happy. Call Chappie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with North Marion leading your Red Riders 6-0, 10:05 to go. Quick strike, 4-play opening drive.
That's
Casey Minor connecting with Brock Martin, 55-yard TD.
par for their course. They stretch your right, stretch your left. Quarterback keeps once, hands it off again, and they get you an empty and get you down the middle of the field.
Lions and Masters back for the Riders.
Oh, ball's mishandled.
Fumble kickoff there, scrambling. Oh, big tackle. Thrown down inside the 15. I'm sorry, that was 22. Thomas Davidson. Ball will be marked at about the 13-yard line. They're going to give him forward progress out to the 16-yard line.
He tried to catch it with his hands, and he dropped the ball. He had to go back and get it, and by that time, the coverage had him.
So Weir takes over first and 10 at their 16, 9:59 to go. Shotgun, 2x2 set. Lions and Strohmeyer in the backfield. Strohmeyer takes the snap, fake the line, gets in behind the lineman. Oh, and Strohmeyer busts through the line. 30, 35, 40, 45, out to the 50, and pushed out of bounds at the North Marion 48-yard line. What a run by Malachi Strohmeyer.
Malachi Strohmeyer will not be denied. He's facing Casey Minor. That look a playbook out of Casey Minor's playbook. Stretch to the left. Malachi kept it to the right and was off to the races.
They're going to mark him out right at the 50-yard line. So that was a 44-yard run there on first down.
Landon Fry corralled him out of bounds. He did a good job of just letting him run, but making sure he gets out of bounds.
Same